Hey guys, how's it going? Masterbucks here. I'm here with Bernie Burns.
Hey,
How's Australia been treating you?
great. Every time we come down to Australia, we have a blast. It's, for the first time we came down, I think about 6 years ago, it's like, this is one of our favorite places in the world to come. In fact, we can never send too many people because it's so expensive to come down here. And it's always in the company a huge fight when an Australia trip comes up of who we're going to send. There's people that are back in Texas right now that are just miserable and they're tweeting about how upset they are.
It's like, I hate this company. Why wouldn't they take me there? I don't feel appreciated.
Yeah, I've only gone to Australia twice this year. These jackasses. Why didn't they send me this time too?
So this is not your first time to Australia, though?
No, I've probably been here about a dozen times. In fact, my girlfriend, dating right now, I actually met her for the first time in Melbourne.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
She's an American, but was living in Sydney at the time, and then came down to see me when I was in Melbourne, and we've been dating pretty much ever since. Once she moved back to the U.S., moved to San Francisco, that was not quite as long distance as Australia, so then we started dating.
No, that's a cool story. That's awesome. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about RTX and the fact that for the first time ever, it's being held outside of Austin, Texas, and it's being held outside of America. So, obviously you've done it for all these years in Austin, Texas, and now you decide to bring it out of Austin, Texas, and you bring it to Australia. Maybe not necessarily a place outside of America or any other country. So what was the decision to bring it to Australia?
There was absolutely zero debate about where we were going to do it when we did it internationally. I should say there was zero debate about what country to go to. But then once we knew we were going to do it in Australia, boy, that's a huge debate as to what city to have it in, because there's huge rivalries between the cities down here. And, we've always had a great time. We come down here. We've been able to do other events, not RTX events, but other events, other conventions in Australia, and also be able to go over to New Zealand as well. So it just made sense. We've always had such a great audience in Australia. Once we decided we were going international, it was just like straight to Australia.
Yeah, sweet. And what do you think the likelihood is? I know it's a lot to ask. RTX Australia 2017, 2018. Is there ever a return, do you reckon you guys might come back?
Well, so they've already announced that it's going to be a yearly event now. And
Wow, that's great.
The only question is, will it be in Sydney every year? I think the organizers down here, we have a great team at Hanabi in a partnership with Supernova. But Eric Cherry, who is the main organizer behind all this, he's already announced that there'll be another year of RTX Australia. It'll be yearly after that, but he's still kind of sitting on whether or not it's going to be moving around. So we'll see.
I know the probably prime destination next outside of Sydney would be Melbourne or maybe the Gold Coast or something.
Sure.
There's a little old town called Adelaide. I think you might want to give it a bit.
Adelaide.
You might want to give it a visit.
That's one of the biggest conventions in all of Australia is in Adelaide, right?
Is it? Oh no, yeah, no. But yeah, I think one of the more famous places to go is in Australia. Is in Adelaide. I think it might be called. I don't know if it is Supernova.
It's either Armageddon Con or Supernova, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But the first time that Jeff and Gus ever came down to Australia, and they're two of our original guys, the first place they went was Adelaide. That was their first event, their first experience in Australia. Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be here not only for coming out and visiting the fans, but you're going to be promoting Laser Team. You had the premiere on Friday.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, how long has the idea of Rooster Teeth going to go out there and just produce and just make a full-length feature film? How long had that been an idea or a project for?
Well, it was always somewhere where we wanted to end up, because we actually started as independent filmmakers, and then we stumbled into the online world in 2003, 4 years before YouTube even really existed. And we were going through film festivals. We made feature films back then, but we were making them in college and things like that. And so we always wanted to get back to it. But for the last 10, 12 years, the online world has just been such a perfect fit for us, and we were right there at the beginning of it, that we focused on that, and now we're getting to the point as a company we're big enough to where we can do feature films again.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Because obviously the premiere was on Friday. I got the invite just the day or two after I'd already booked my itinerary. So unfortunately, I haven't seen it, but I can't wait. I think there's actually a screening that's going to be in my town because you guys had a partnership with Tugs.
That's right.
That was So basically, if your cinema, or basic idea was that if your cinema wasn't going to show it, that you could try to get them to promote it. Is that still running at the moment?
It is. So all the screenings are confirmed at this point, so we can't make any new screenings.
Okay.
But there's still tickets available in the screenings that have already been confirmed.
Right. Okay.
And most of those are taking place on January 27th and 28th. Or excuse me, January 27th and 28th, yeah.
So that's when I'm going to see it. I can't wait. By the way, how happy are you with how it turned out?
I'm so happy. It was a concept that we've been working on for years and years, and it was always going to be the next project we worked on. But then after a couple of years we realized, why aren't we ever making that the project we're currently working on? So we did a crowdfunding campaign, and we raised a record-breaking amount to make it. And so then we spent last year making the movie, and now it's all done. So it's a great feeling.
No, fantastic. You reckon you'll ever go again, Laser Team 2, or maybe something else?
Absolutely. I mean, the big thing for us is the crowdfunding thing works so well, and I'm really proud of the fact that we had a successful crowdfunding campaign, but then also delivered the thing that we said we were going to deliver, because people just aren't doing that now in crowdfunding. And so it's so hard, but now we have a good reputation of like, yes, we do exactly what we say we're going to do. So, it makes us hope we can go even bigger on the next one. So that's the plan.
Hey, give us $8 million and we'll make a game that you all really like.
Why not? Yeah, we just started a games development division at Rooster Teeth.
Oh, that's good.
And I think that'll be the biggest part of Rooster Teeth in about 5 years.
Wow, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
There's a lot of potential.
Yeah. So obviously it's perfectly fine now. So you guys you reckon you would ever crowdsource a game? You reckon you ever do that?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I mean, it's public opinion weighs heavily into that.
Yeah.
And so because we had a very successful one, if we went to go do it again, there might be a little bit of, why are you guys doing this again? When we need to communicate to people, we're trying to go even bigger this time, and like make that part of our process.
Yeah. And I can totally understand if like you guys would want to say, hey, we're really trying to do this like new thing. We're trying to create a game. It'd be a little bit different if like, hey, EA Sports, help us crowdfund like the next FIFA 16 game or something like that.
Exactly right. But people will also contribute to those. Like some of the biggest movies that get crowdfunded are like sequels to popular Hollywood movies or TV shows that they want to see on the big screen. It's like, crowdfunding should be for original things, That's my opinion.
Yeah. For the people that want to do it, they're passionate, but they can't afford it. But anyway, or at least, they need that sort of help.
Or to enable projects to be created that normally wouldn't be created in the normal media system. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I'd like to see.
There's a couple more panels. We're on the final day. This has been recorded on the Sunday. So there's still a few more panels. What are you up to?
I have the Red versus Blue panel today.
Yep.
I have the Rooster Teeth podcast panel, and then I'm trying to go crash the off-topic podcast panel and get a beer. Right. We all do that. We all crash that panel and drink beer because they have a tap on the set. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. All right, I'll be sure to check that out. All right, then, cool. But again, even though there are still a couple more panels, what's been the highlight of Rooster Teeth? Oh, the highlight of RTX so far for you?
Highlight of RTX Australia so far has just been it's always the first year event. The thing that makes it are all the fans that show up because they're so enthusiastic. People who will take the time to come to a first year event, they really are super passionate. They want to be there, and they're the early adopters, and it's just like so great to hang out with all of them.
All right, well, fantastic, man.
Right.
I wish you the best luck. By the way, I got to ask you, how'd that happen?
So I cut my finger making my kid a sandwich.
Oh,
I need a better story.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you should have said, like, I don't know, like, I was doing this extreme stunt during Laser Team, and I just, like, shattered it in a billion pieces.
Koala injury.
Oh, drop bears, no. All right, then. Sweet. Thanks, man.
In the airport. All right, thanks.
Cheers, man.